It was once remarked by the renowned Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, "The pleasure of your life depends upon the quality of your ideas." We are reminded of how our ideas create our reality and state of being, much like how the people we associate with may have a significant impact on our path, by the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. There are several habits that might subtly lead us away from the Stoic approach. In order to reclaim our Stoic orientation and inner peace, we will examine the 7 anti-Stoic habits that may be present in our day-to-day activities. I would appreciate it if you could like the video before we start so that you may support my efforts to keep the Stoic philosophy alive. In order to ensure that you don't miss a video, I advise you to subscribe and act immediately. Complaining about things beyond your control is habit number 1. Picture yourself enjoying a picnic with your friends and family, the sun shining, delicious food, when all of a sudden clouds roll in and it starts to rain. Some would let this sudden turn ruin their day, complaining about the weather, their bad luck, or their destroyed clothing, while the majority would pack up and head inside, finding joy in the change and enjoying the fragrance of rain. This is a perfect illustration of how things outside of our control may have an impact. While we can't control the events that happen, we can surely control our reactions to them. Life is unpredictable, much like the weather. Stoicism is rooted in realizing and accepting that there are certain things we can change and others we cannot. The act of complaining, particularly about things beyond of our control, is a pointless activity that wastes our time and energy and keeps us stuck in a never-ending state of unhappiness. Think of the workplace in the real world. We've all worked with coworkers who spend a lot of time complaining about decisions made by upper management or changes to company policy. This incessant complaining not only undermines their productivity and peace of mind, but it also creates a bad environment for people around them, as opposed to helping them adjust and find methods to work within the new constraints. The wisdom of Epictetus might be used to resist this anti-Stoic behavior. We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? A more Stoic response to such events would be to ask, how can I adapt to this? Or what can I learn from this situation? By doing this, we reclaim our power and maintain our inner peace, ensuring that we are unaffected by external events, no matter how unpredictable they may be. External validation is habit number 2. Imagine dedicating weeks of your time and all of your energy to a project that you are working on. After finishing, you find yourself continuously searching social media for likes, comments, or any kind of recognition, rather than being happy of your work. Alternatively, you could have purchased a new dress, but rather than wearing it because it makes you feel confident, you're seeking affirmation from others to support your choice. This demand for external validation is increased in the digital era. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our self-worth using metrics like followers, likes, or shares to social media sites feed off our innate need for validation. However, this is a precarious base upon which to establish one's self-esteem, given these figures are transient and frequently impacted by variables outside of our control. Relying on external validation is like riding a seesaw. One day you're up because of the compliment and attention, and the next you're down due to a lack of it or, worse yet, criticism. We lack a steady sense of worth and peace as a result of these erratic events. Finding validation from within is the Stoic method. Relying on external validation is like riding a seesaw. One day you're up because of the compliment and attention, and the next you're down due to a lack of it or, worse yet, criticism. We lack a steady sense of worth and peace as a result of these erratic events. Finding validation from within is the Stoic method. Stoicism teaches us that rather than depending on the whims of others, our sense of worth should be anchored in our own virtues, actions, and personal development. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, as Epictetus sagely said. This means that how we assess and feel about our own actions and decisions is the ultimate indicator of our worth, not the compliment or criticism we receive from others. The next time you find yourself seeking external validation, pause and ask yourself, why do I need this validation? To live according to this Stoic ideal, are my decisions and actions something I'm proud of? That should be sufficient on its own if the response is affirmative. Your self-worth should originate from inside, rooted in your actions, objectives, and integrity, rather than the shifting perceptions of the world around you, even though input can be helpful for development. Being a slave to your emotions is habit number 3. Imagine yourself at a family gathering when a relative, possibly unwittingly, makes a comment on a change you've just made, whether it's a new career, relationship, or even a change in lifestyle. You are offended by that remark and experience a rush of emotions such as grief, rage, or defensiveness. You could lash out with a nasty remark before you realize it, making everyone present uncomfortable. Was it truly the best reaction to that outburst? This is a classic case of emotions taking over. Emotions are intrinsic human reactions that offer important insights into our state of mind and how we perceive our environment. They are neither good nor evil in their purest form. However, allowing these emotions to rule our decisions unchecked and becoming a slave to them can lead to unfortunate decisions and broken relationships. The Stoic school of thought places a strong emphasis on recognizing our emotions without letting them overtake us. In the elegant words of Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. When you acknowledge this, you'll find resilience. This Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we may not have control over our initial reaction to a situation, we do have control over our following reactions. The next time you experience a surge of emotion, whether it's due to a friend's remark, a situation at work, or any other trigger, stop. Take a deep breath and consider if acting on the emotion right away is the best course of action. Will it lead to further strife or to harmony? You develop emotional resilience by exercising this pause and introspection, ensuring that your reactions are consistent with your beliefs rather than merely passing emotions. By using this Stoic perspective, you may navigate the many problems of life with a sense of poise, ensuring that your actions are based on reason, intellect, and wisdom rather than impetuous emotion. The pursuit of excessive pleasure is habit number 4. Picture yourself entering a lavish feast. There are a ton of delicious appetizers, delectable desserts, and an unlimited supply of beverages on the table. Even while it's tempting to overindulge, emotions of pain or regret may replace the first exhilaration towards the end of the evening. That is the extreme pleasure trap. Delicious cuisines and opulent experiences are only two of the many delights life has to offer. While enjoying them as a part of the human experience makes perfect sense, getting caught up in the loop of continuously seeking more can lead to a trap of emptiness. These pleasures' fleeting joy can frequently conceal a gap, leading us away from seeking more profound, significant sources of fulfillment. The insightful statement made by Seneca, "Slavery resides under marble and gold," helps serves as a warning that being unduly dependent on worldly pleasures may tie us and, paradoxically, limit our freedom. We seem to be stuck on a never-ending cycle of seeking for the next momentary joy. Consider the attraction of contemporary technologies. Unquestionably, buying the newest smartphone is exciting. But how often does the excitement fade just to be rekindled when a new model is revealed? Analogously, think of the culture of binge-watching television. It's nice in the moment, but does it really provide enduring fulfillment? Moderation is a good mindset to have in order to navigate this. Before indulging in the next indulgence, pause and consider, is this pursuit improving my life, or am I just seeking a quick fix? This kind of introspection aids in separating what actually improves our life from what only provides a brief distraction. We put ourselves in a position to feel a deeper, more enduring sense of joy and fulfillment by ensuring that our wants are in line with long-term well-being rather than fleeting highs. Living in the past is habit number 5. Imagine being on your porch on a lovely evening, but instead of enjoying the sunset, your mind is a million miles away, enmeshed in a maze of past events. Perhaps it's a recollection of someone you used to know, a mistake you did, or an opportunity you passed up. Everyone has nostalgic moments from time to time, but being too anchored in the past might keep you from experiencing the present to its fullest. It might feel like carrying a heavy burden through life to dwell on past events, particularly ones that cause regret or grief. It weighs you down, makes you move more slowly, and keeps you from noticing the opportunity and beauty that are there in front of you. Every time you think about a past occurrence, you give it power, allowing it to take up important brain space that could be better spent in the present. Legendary Stoic philosopher Epictetus once observed, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This means that our pain is frequently caused by our ongoing attention to and interpretation of past events rather than by the events themselves. Think about the tale of two longtime friends who finally got back together. One regrets the past, missed opportunities, and broken relationships. However, the other expresses enthusiasm for the future, thankfulness for the present moment, and lessons learned. Although both have seen time pass, their viewpoints are very different. Mindfulness is essential for releasing oneself from the shackles of the past. Bring your focus back to the present when you find yourself drifting off into a different time. Practices that ground you in the present, like meditation, writing, or just going on a stroll and taking in your surroundings, are all examples of such activities. You may break free from the chains of the past and construct a happier, more satisfying tale for yourself by focusing on the present and considering each day as a new chapter. Complication with the future is habit number 6. Imagine that you are on a calm beach holiday. Thoughts of an impending work project, a financial choice, or any number of unpredictable future events occupy your mind, preventing you from being present in the moment even when the waves are softly lapping at the coast and a lovely wind is blowing. Being consumed by the future might deprive you of the joy and experiences of the present, even if it is normal to ponder about and plan for it. Predicting the future all the time is like standing at the foot of a big mountain and never enjoying the journey. What-ifs and hypothetical situations are easy to get wrapped up in. This constant emphasis on the future can lead to worry, restlessness, and even a sense of not being anchored. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Never let the future disturb you." With the same tools of reason that you use to defend yourself against the present on a daily basis, you will confront it if necessary. This realization implies that while worrying won't change the future, our present moment reactions and preparations will. Think about two pupils prior to a significant test. Whereas the other is fully focused on the present, studying and being ready, the first is always nervous and imagines all the worst things that may happen. While they are both aware of the impending task, their strategies and states of mind are very different. It's critical to ground oneself in the present in order to prevent becoming caught up in never-ending future attention cycles. Practice mindfulness techniques like deep breathing or sensory concentration to bring yourself back to the present whenever you find yourself drifting into worries about the future. Recall that although planning for the future is wise, living in and appreciating the present is just as important because it is the only moment that we can completely control. You lay the groundwork for a more peaceful and satisfying life journey by maintaining a balanced perspective, accepting the future but appreciating the present. Seeking perfection in everything is habit number 7. At your house, you're throwing a dinner party. The environment is lively, the food is delicious, and the visitors are enjoying themselves. However, you're hooked on the tiny mistake in the table arrangement or the dish that has been slightly oversalted, rather than enjoying the moment. Even the most pleasant celebrations can be tarnished by this relentless pursuit of perfection in every small aspect. There is increased pressure to achieve perfection in all areas of life in the modern era, whether it be in one's looks, relationship, career, or house, thanks to the surge of social media and the continual onslaught of picture-perfect lifestyles. The pursuit of perfection may turn into an unrelenting treadmill that never stops running but never arrives at the intended finish line. To wish for perfection is a sure way to become unhappy, said Seneca once. This Stoic awareness emphasizes how elusive and frequently unachievable perfection is as a goal. A sense of ongoing inadequacy, irritation, and even burnout can result from striving for it. Imagine a world-class artist creating a work of art. They might never finish a single artistic work if their pursuit of flawless perfection incapacitated them. Instead, they understand that beauty frequently resides in imperfections and that it is the whole work, not the little flaws, that matter. It's important to accept the idea of good enough in order to navigate away from this perfection trap. Celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how minor, and learn to embrace the flaws that come with being human. This doesn't imply settling for mediocrity, but rather that striving for excellence and seeking ultimate perfection are two separate things. Take a step back and consider whether this is really that important when you find yourself succumbing to perfectionist impulses. In a week, a month, or a year, will this matter? You may break free from the confines of perfectionism and lead a more balanced and satisfied life by reframing your perspective and focusing on the wider picture. Conclusion: it is clear from the Stoic elders' wisdom that self-awareness and introspection are essential for fostering a robust and balanced life. I hope that my trip through these 7 anti-Stoic habits today has given you some insight to help you navigate and improve your own path. Recall that Stoicism emphasizes development and perspective over perfection. Consider for a moment if you are a victim of any of these habits. How can you improve and change direction? I invite you to express your thoughts and experiences in the space provided for comments below. Of these habits, which one most resonated with you? Have you come across any other habits that hinder your Stoic path? Let's establish a forum for lively conversation and reciprocal development. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you find peace and strength in the Stoic path. Until our next adventure.